Once upon a time, in a small town near the edge of the Grand Canyon, there lived a curious little girl named Mia. She loved nothing more than exploring the rocky trails with her grandfather, who had grown up in that same town and knew every hidden path and every old story the canyon had to tell. One warm evening, just as the sun began to dip behind the red and orange cliffs, Mia and her grandfather sat on their favorite ledge, watching the sky turn shades of pink and gold. "Grandpa," Mia said, "do you think the canyon has secrets?" Her grandfather smiled, his eyes twinkling like they always did before he told her something special. "Oh, it has more secrets than you could count in 100 lifetimes," he said. "But there is one I've never told you. Come, I'll show you." He led her down a narrow path she had never noticed before, hidden behind a cluster of juniper bushes. The path wound down toward a small alcove in the canyon wall, sheltered from the wind. There, resting in a bed of soft sand, was a smooth, round stone. It was unlike any stone Mia had ever seen. It shimmered faintly, like it had swallowed a piece of the sunset. "This," her grandfather said softly, "is the storyteller's stone. My grandmother showed it to me when I was your age, and her grandmother showed it to her, all the way back through time." "What does it do?" Mia asked, kneeling beside it. "If you hold it gently and ask it a question about the old days, it will answer you, not with words, but with pictures in your mind. It remembers everything that ever happened here." Mia reached out and carefully picked up the stone. It was warm, warmer than a rock should be after the sun had already begun to set. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Stone, what were the first people who lived here like?" At once, soft colors swirled behind her closed eyelids. She saw a group of people walking along the canyon rim, their moccasins quiet on the dusty ground. They carried baskets woven from yucca fibers and walked with the steady confidence of those who knew every twist of the land. She saw children her own age chasing each other along the rim, laughing just as she and her friends did. She saw elders sitting by a fire beneath the stars, telling stories about the condor, who soared higher than any bird, and the coyote, who was always a little too clever for his own good. "I see them," Mia whispered, her eyes still closed. "They're having a story time too, just like us." "That's right," her grandfather said gently. "The canyon remembers every story ever told beside it. That's why we call it the storyteller's stone. It doesn't just show you the past, it shares it, so it never truly disappears." Maya asked the stone another question. "What was the canyon like a long, long time ago before there were any people at all?" The colors shifted again, and this time she saw rushing blue water carving through soft rock, layer by layer, over what felt like millions of years. She saw the canyon deepen and widen, its walls painted in stripes of red, orange, brown, and cream, each one telling a story of a different age of the earth. She saw eagles diving between the cliffs and bighorn sheep leaping from ledge to ledge as if gravity were only a suggestion. "It's like watching the whole world grow up," Mia said in wonder. Her grandfather nodded. "The canyon has patience, Mia. It didn't rush. It let the river do its work, one drop at a time, for millions of years. And look what it became. One of the most beautiful places on Earth." Mia opened her eyes and looked at the canyon around her, now glowing amber in the last light of the sunset. She felt like she was seeing it for the first time, even though she had seen it every day of her life. "Can I ask it one more question?" she said. "Of course. But remember, The stone only answers once each evening, so choose it wisely." Mia thought for a long moment. Then she smiled and asked, "Stone, what will I remember about tonight when I am as old as Grandpa?" The stone grew warmer in her hands, and this time, instead of showing her the past, it showed her something else entirely. A gentle, glowing feeling, like a hug from the inside. She saw herself, much older, sitting in this very spot with a child of her own, telling them about the night her grandfather first showed her the storyteller's stone. She saw the same colors of sunset, the same warm stone, the same feeling of wonder passed down like a treasure from one generation to the next. A tear slipped down her cheek, but she was smiling. "I saw myself telling this story to someone else one day," she said softly. Her grandfather put an arm around her shoulders. "That's how stories live forever, Mia. They don't just stay in the past. They travel forward too, carried by people who choose to remember and to share." They sat together as the first stars began to appear above the canyon, twinkling one by one, like the universe was slowly waking up for the night. The wind rustled gently through the juniper bushes, and somewhere far below, an owl hooted softly, as if adding its own quiet note to the evening.
Mia carefully placed the stone back in its bed of soft sand, right where it had always rested. "Good night, storyteller stone," she whispered. "Thank you for sharing your memories with me." As they walked back up the hidden path, hand in hand, Mia looked back one more time at the little alcove, now fading into the deep blue of twilight. She knew she would return, maybe many times over the years, and each time the stone would have another story waiting. Back home, as her grandfather tucked her into bed, Mia lay quietly for a moment, thinking about everything she had seen: the ancient families, the rushing river, the deep time of the canyon, and the warm feeling of her own future rippling out before her like sunlight on water. "Grandpa," she murmured sleepily, "I think the canyon isn't just a place. I think it's more like a really, really old friend." Her grandfather smiled and kissed her forehead. "That's exactly what it is, little one. And now it's your friend too." Mia closed her eyes, and as sleep began to wrap around her like a soft blanket, she dreamed of red cliffs and golden light, of ancient footsteps and rushing water, and of a small, warm stone that held 1,000 years of stories, patiently waiting for the next person brave and curious enough to ask for a story. And somewhere, deep in the heart of the Grand Canyon, as the stars filled the sky and the desert night grew still, the little stone glowed just a bit brighter, as if it too was happy to have shared its secrets with a new friend. The end. Sweet dreams.